Maison Esthétique Cinema presents, in association with Odyssey Films, a Dusty Trail production.
The town breathes low, like a tired old drum. Windows blink out one by one. Footprints fade where a shadow came. A black duster flutters against the sun. Wind carries whispers down the empty street. Mothers hush the lanterns on their pride. Horses snort the name
I know you are out here somewhere.
that won't retreat. Men fold up stories they can't hide. Sing the ballad of the black duster, ride on. Sing the ballad of the black
Some men build the law with ink,
ride on.
others forge it in iron and Salt Creek dust.
Mark the road each
The oil lamp sputtered on the scarred pine desk, casting long, bruised shadows against the timber walls of the Frontier Telegraph Office in Oak Haven, New Mexico. Outside, the night wind whipped through the dry gulch, carrying the rattle of tumbleweeds and the copper tang of trail dust.
I'll see you at the market.
Out of the way, please! Good
Special
morning to
Field
you!
Agent J.C. Black
Make way
sat
for the Midday
motionless.
Express!
I wonder
He
if my
wore a
letters have arrived
broad-brimmed
today.
black hat
Big
pulled
delivery for the
low
boarding
over
house.
eyes like winter flint, a heavy black duster coat grayed with alkali, and a pair of worn Colt 45s slung low at his thighs. He dipped his pen and brought the point down onto a sheet of heavy vellum.
To the Department of
Territory
the
of New Mexico, October 18th, 1884. To Honorable E.M. Vance, Chief Administrator, Department of the Interior, Washington, D.C. Sir, I have the honor to submit this final summary regarding the pursuit and settlement of the Silas Vance gang. Tracking the outfit through the Badlands proved a dry business, but we brought them to bay at the mouth of Salt Creek. Upon being signaled to lay down their arms, the party offered resistance. Silas Vance broke cover on horseback, took iron, and was secured alive. A circuit magistrate being 2 weeks out, and the local cattlemen having little patience for
You're not going
incarceration,
anywhere.
the law of the territory took its natural course beneath the branch of a cottonwood at sundown. The prisoner offered no final statement, nor did he struggle against the hemp. He hung quietly. I remain, sir, your obedient servant, J.C. Black. Black laid the pen across the inkwell, folded the vellum, and sealed it with 3 heavy drops of red wax pressed with the cold steel pommel of his bowie knife. He blew out the lamp and stepped into the moonlit dust. 3 days passed, and the telegraph keys stayed silent. Oak Haven's merchants whispered behind flour sacks, guessing Black to be a tax collector or a Santa Fe ring gun. Down at the livery, he kept his bay gelding rubbed down and fed. It was there he encountered Spud, a skinny 14-year-old orphan in boots 3 sizes too large, held together with baling wire. 4 winters back, cholera wiped out his wagon train, leaving the boy as the town's communal ward, bunking in the hayloft
inside,
and
dear.
scrubbing
safe
stalls
now.
for a sour
Let's get you
farrier.
warm.
One evening, Black found the boy under a single tallow candle, trying to sew a split boot welt with a dull fishhook and coarse hemp string. His fingers were bloody. "You're cutting the hide, son. Hemp acts like a saw on raw cowhide. Black pulled a harness maker's roll from his duster, drawing out 2 curved needles, an awl, and beeswax. He didn't offer pity, he offered craftsmanship, guiding the boy's shaky fingers through the welt. You see everything that moves in this town, don't you?
Gotta. If you don't look ahead, you get stepped on.
Before leaving, Black unclipped a small, silver-mounted pocket compass from his watch chain and dropped it into the boy's hand. The following evening, as Spud polished the compass glass with his sleeve, a stray memory slipped out.
My ma had a watch with a glass face like this. Smaller, though. She kept it in a velvet pouch. The tall man with the brass spurs took it off her neck after he put her up on the pouch. I hid in the wash like Ma told me to. They didn't burn the wagons till after they tied Ma's hands and put her on the blue roan mule. She kept screaming my name, but the brass spur man hit her with a quirt and rode north toward the staked plains. Mr. Black? Did I say something wrong?
The pieces clicked into place. Deputy Marshal Corcoran hadn't written an honest report 4 years ago. He was protecting a trafficking pipeline running captives into Texas. Black pulled the Washington telegram from his duster and tore it twice, dropping the scraps into the lantern flame. No, son. You just opened a closed federal docket. A woman was stolen on a federal postal road. Get your blanket. We're going to Santa Fe. They rode out before dawn, Black purchasing a sturdy sorrel pony for the boy. As they cut north into the high pines of Glorietta Pass, the journey became a brutal, beautiful crucible. At an abandoned sheep corral, Black handed Spud a lightweight double-action .32-20 revolver. A man who knows how to look ought to know which way he's facing. A gun ain't a toy. We shoot to protect the innocent. Power without duty is just murder. Every morning, Spud walked the trail ahead, learning to spot an unshod pony and read load-bearing hoof drags. At Apache Wells, 3 drifters tried to jump them. Spud's sharp warning allowed Black to clear both colts in a blur of thunderous lead. That night, by the fire, Black tested the boy's core. I know you won't let me down, Spud, but are you going to let yourself down? Are you going to let your ma down? Only you can answer if you've got the stomach to hold that line when nobody's watching. Black drew out a heavy Spanish silver dollar, ground smooth on one side and hand-engraved with a lone oak tree against a storm. He pressed it into Spud's palm. Anytime you feel yourself slipping, pull this out. It's always carried me through. Reaching Santa Fe, they found Deputy Marshal Corcoran's adobe headquarters ringed by armed deputies. Choosing direct action over stealth, Black walked right up to the front door. Inside, Corcoran sat behind a scarred mahogany desk, blowing cigar smoke.
Who the hell are you?
Special Agent Black. I'm looking into 4-year-old tallies. A woman was taken alive off a postal trail.
Oh, yeah, she was spunky. I don't know why I took her. Maybe a look in her eye. But damn, she was too spunky. Gave the boys hell all the way to the border before we turned her over to the cattle outfit down in Chihuahua. And as far as the rest, well, that doesn't matter.
As deputies closed in, Spud moved. Surging through the doorway with lightning speed, the boy brought up the .32-20. The deafening roar shattered the lead deputy's gun hand. That split second allowed Black to vault the mahogany desk, his heavy hand clamping around Corcoran's throat like a vice, pinning him to the wall. Black sat Corcoran down, demanding names and locations. The marshal scrambled, offering half-truths about brokers in Presidio and silver mines in Chihuahua. But as he leaned forward, his eyes dilated in sheer terror. A wet, strangled gasp caught in his throat. Corcoran clutched his chest, knocked over his rye glass, and collapsed across the desk, suffering a massive, fatal heart attack.
He didn't tell us where she went. We're too late.
Well, I think at least for now, this is a dead lead. I'm going to have to send a telegraph in and report. Don't worry, kid. You and I got this. We'll find your mom. Weeks passed as Black handled paperwork. One afternoon, while delivering cotton bolts for a local seamstress named Doña Beatrice, Spud's life turned on a dime. Recognizing the boy's story, Beatrice unlocked a wooden box. She tipped a small, gold-plated pocket watch with tiny rosebud etchings into Spud's hand.
3 years ago, a teamster tried to sell this. He bought it off a vaquero working a horse ranch 20 miles south of the border called Hacienda de la Cruz.
Spud bolted back to the telegraph office, slamming the watch into Black's hand. Black immediately tore up his latest administrative reprimand from Washington, smiled a cold, razor-sharp smile, and packed his gear. Across the Rio Grande, leaving U.S. jurisdiction behind, Black and Spud crossed the muddy currents of the Rio Grande, plunging deep into the lawless scrubland of Chihuahua. Operating without badges, they crawled on their bellies through limestone ridges at dusk. Cresting the ridge, they overlooked a heavily fortified adobe compound nestled against a sheer red rock cliff. Hacienda de la Cruz. Under desert stars, Spud wriggled through a narrow drainage sluice and popped the latch on the rear gate, letting Black inside. Moving like ghosts past card-playing guards, they slipped into the kitchen. Sitting by a tallow candle, sewing patches onto canvas, was a woman with gray-streaked hair. Spud froze, his breath caught.
Ma?
Heavy shears clattered to the stone. Mary spun around, recognized her lost boy, and fell to her knees as they collided in a desperate, overwhelming embrace. Suddenly, heavy boots crunching outside shattered the stillness. A gruff voice barked from the courtyard, accompanied by the metallic rattle of a Winchester clearing leather. Black's Colt cleared iron as the trap sprung. Thunderous Colt reports cut through the night. 2 quick shots dropped the approaching vaqueros into the courtyard dust. Spud kept his mother's hand locked tight in his left while Black cleared the stables. Hoisting Mary onto a bay mare, they tore out of Hacienda de la Cruz under a canopy of desert stars, leaving panicked orders fading into the dust behind them as they rode hard for the border. 3 weeks later in Santa Fe, the telegraph key chattered furiously. The clerk read the incoming Morse translation from Washington, D.C., his eyes widening.
Agent Black, they're promoting you to Chief Field Inspector. Full bureau rank, a substantial pension increase, and a direct commendation. You're a made man.
Black didn't blink. He reached into his pocket, unclipped his pewter star, and laid the heavy badge down squarely in the center of the wooden counter.
Agent, what are you doing? You can't just walk away from a promotion like that.
Tell the secretary my docket is permanently closed. Tell him J.C. Black has resigned his commission.
Heavy with wishes, light with the dawn. Left our names on concrete and neon numbers. Traded 2 bright years for a handful of wrongs.
Down on the sunlit outskirts of Santa Fe, near a quiet adobe cottage where wild sunflowers grew tall, Mary sat on the wooden porch, her gold watch ticking softly against her apron. Spud sat on the step, whetting his knife. Heavy boots crunched on the path. Spud looked up, grinning as J.C. Black walked through the gate, wearing a clean wool shirt without his badge.
You finish up with the clerk?
Finished. We're done riding for the bureau, kid. From here on out, we work for ourselves.
Dinner's on the table, gentlemen. Come on inside.
We're finally home at the foot of the mountain, with a creek that remembers our names in its song. We'll keep this place through the winters and mornings. Hand it down, keep it strong. A cradle sleeps
Against the clapboards of the telegraph station. A young man sat behind the desk, wearing a crisp federal duster and a polished tin star. His shoulders were broad, his jaw set with quiet steel. Beside his inkwell rested a heavy Spanish silver dollar engraved with a lone oak tree. Across the room, a greenhorn associate leaned against the stove with a cup of coffee, squinting at the coin.
I've seen you carry that coin through 3 territories, Agent Higgins. Is it a lucky piece?
It ain't about luck, son. Luck runs out the second lead starts flying. That piece there, that's an anchor.
An anchor for what?
For memory. For knowing who you are when the world tries to grind you down into the dirt. I used to be a nobody. An orphan living in a horse stall with baling wire holding my boots together. Spud's eyes drifted to a small framed photograph on the wall. A smiling woman sitting on an adobe porch beside a tall man in a black hat with quiet dignity carved into his face. Have to turn his back on a massive promotion or walk away from the bureau to make sure a broken family was put back together. But he did. The code endures. Click to subscribe and follow the trail to the next saga. He taught me how to read the trail, how to hold a line when nobody was watching, and how to stand up for the innocent. He showed me that power without duty is just murder, and that a true man's word is iron. He gave me my purpose. He gave me my mother back. And he gave me a home.
Until I believe there was a child with a jar full of light, who whispered that justice can outlast the night. He traded his nowhere for one final stand, and learned how to hold truth in an empty hand. Dust to the horizon and the city hums low. The slow of the heartbeat